You'll never believe how an old man stands up to his bully neighbor. If you want to find out, you'll have to watch until the end. 79-year-old Oliver Lynch had been living in his Osceola, Florida neighborhood for roughly 25 years, and he was the kind of person who wouldn't let anybody push him around. "I just hate to be bullied," he said in an interview. "I have a little fight left in me, and I hate to see somebody bulldoze over me," he continued. One day, Oliver discovered that a new neighbor was using an empty plot of land to build his home. Unfortunately, though, it became clear that they wouldn't get along. It all started when Oliver got home and discovered that a long row of cinder blocks had been lined up and down the middle of his driveway, with the neighbor now claiming that this piece of land actually belonged to him. As if that wasn't bad enough, the neighbor had gone so far as to cement the bricks down on the ground. With no way for him to move the cinder blocks himself, Oliver knew that he had to take more drastic steps to resolve the issue. Oliver was surprised, not to mention angered, by his neighbor's complete and utter passive aggression. What's he going to do with these few extra yards of concrete? Oliver recalled asking himself in disbelief. With no way to immediately resolve the situation, Oliver had to find proof that the land his neighbor was trying to make his own actually belonged to him. He found records detailing the fact that he was entitled to 2 adjacent 12-foot driveways. Unfortunately, though, that didn't seem to be enough, because even with the confirmation from Osceola County that the records were accurate, they couldn't change what had already been done. Oliver could either hire a surveyor or take his neighbor to court. Oliver thought the idea that he'd have to take his new neighbor to court was totally ridiculous, so he decided to try to reason with his neighbor in person. Unfortunately, that didn't have the desired results. Oliver also thought that his new neighbor was behaving hypocritically. He said he was a minister or something like that, the homeowner explained. "A God-fearing man, but I don't think that's very Christian-like." Feeling like he was running out of options, Oliver approached the county once again in the hopes that an official would give him the help that he needed. He knew that whatever happened, it wasn't going to be easy to approach his neighbor. Oliver even went so far as to get in touch with the local media, and they decided to do a story on the struggle that he was facing. They even tried to contact the neighbor, but they weren't able to get a hold of him at all. As one would probably imagine, the new neighbor came out looking pretty bad after his schemes were revealed to the public. Many echoed Oliver's complaints that the neighbor's actions were consistent with his supposed religious beliefs. Other people took issue with the fact that not only was he being a bad neighbor, but that he was immediately making such a terrible impression. Why would he be such a bully instead of trying to ingratiate himself more with his new neighbor? As much as Oliver had the public on his side though, his stubborn neighbor still wouldn't budge one bit. Seeing as he didn't have many other ways around the situation, he decided to call the local WFTV station again. It was after this moment, however, that Oliver was finally able to make some progress. How much progress? We'll definitely tell you, but first a reminder. Leave a like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell right now. If you do, comment Notification Squad, and we'll reply to all of you with a thank you. It took a long time for the two of them to talk, but eventually Oliver got through to his neighbor. He explained the situation and his records, and to his great success, they made peace with each other. Finally, the neighbor agreed to remove the cinder blocks. Oliver later revealed that the new neighbor eventually admitted that he didn't actually intend to create such a scene. It appeared that, after all this trouble, the whole incident was little more than a misunderstanding. Once Oliver made peace with his new neighbor, many people who had been following the story and who had been siding with Oliver found relief. Even though the neighbor was in the wrong, they warmed up to the idea that the two men might finally be able to get along.